What's up, everybody? It's B with Pray for Snow Auto Detailing, and I am so very pumped that you are here with me in the garage today because I have a 2015 Toyota Sienna in sky blue pearl, and it is going to be such a sick transformation. It is here for a full exterior detailing, which on the outside, there are some unidentified substances on the passenger door, a ton of dust on the rear liftgate, and a couple other things. The tires and wheels are a little bit dirty. It's going to be sick, but mainly we're going to get into the interior, and this has automatically qualified itself as a disaster detail, and I am so pumped. The floor's a mess. The seats are a wreck. I've got to pull all the car seats out. There's a bunch of stuff from the customer in there that is non-garbage items. We'll get all that piled up, and then we'll really be able to assess the interior, and I'm so excited. This one's going to be so sick. I have actually been looking forward to this one for quite some time, but before I get into all that, if you are not subscribed to this epic channel, head on down and hit that subscribe button, push that notification bell, and you won't miss any of this epic detailing content. And of course, if you want to detail along with me, all you got to do is go down and detail that like button. Let's get to it. We are going to kick off this awesome detail with the wheels and tires. We're going to rinse everything off with the pressure washer, and then we are going to use Chemical Guy's Citrus Sticky Wheel and Tire Cleaner to clean off the wheel and tire, obviously. We have some detail brushes to clean off. Well, we've got the brush to clean off the tire, then we've got the detail brushes to get in the angles and behind each of these spokes. There is a ton of debris embedded on there, but it's gonna work out awesome, and it's gonna look amazing when I'm done because I'm that good. One round didn't work, we've gotta go for a second. The wheels and tires had just a little bit more on them than I anticipated, so it took quite a while, but they look amazing now. It is time to rinse the entire vehicle. Definitely the rear liftgate is probably going to be the worst part, but the wheels surprised me, so let's see if anything else does. Rinsing is complete. It is time to go foam cannoning. Washing, rinsing are done. Now we have to chemically decontaminate this Sienna, and we are going to use Adams Polishes Iron Remover. Now that washing and the chemical decontamination step is complete, we need to dry the entire Sienna so that we can move on to the physical decontamination step. We're going to dry using the Adams Air Cannon. Love the Air Cannon, and the main reason I love it so much is because you risk damaging the paint less when you do it. It takes maybe a little bit longer than drying with a microfiber towel, but works really well. Bye. It is time to clay bar the Sienna. For this, we are going to use Chemical Guy's Clay Luber, We have Adams Polishes Clay Mitt, and then a Chemical Guys microfiber towel to wipe off, and it's gonna be awesome. There is not a ton of contamination in the clear coat, but enough that it merits a physical hand, whatever, decontamination. Clay barring was awesome. Final preparation step before we get to protect this beautiful Sienna is to use a surface prep, IPA as it's sometimes called, or an alcohol prep step. We are just going to simply spray this from down onto the surfaces that we are going to coat and protect, and then we're going to wipe off with a microfiber towel. This is probably my favorite part of the exterior detail to protect the paint, whether it's the Adams graphene spray coating or a full legit ceramic coating, graphene ceramic coating. Whatever it is, I love the paint protection step because it's usually really satisfying and it transforms the exterior of these vehicles into something that's just absolutely stunning. So the application process is really simple. Apply it to a microfiber applicating pad, work in a crosshatch pattern. This product in particular is rated to go on everything: glass, plastics, paint, chrome, trim. Pretty much everything can be coated by this graphene ceramic coating, and the bond holds pretty well. According to Adams Polishes website, the bond can actually last a full year if applied correctly, which of course I do. So what we do is we get it applied and then we buff it off with a microfiber towel, of course level and wipe off with a microfiber towel, and it is going to protect this paint and the rest of the trim and stuff for about a year. Given the right circumstances, of course. You know that I said this was going to be a disaster detail, and it truly is, mainly because the interior. The exterior was completely covered in dust and stuff, but that is normal and is to be expected. But check out the interior of this Sienna. I am so excited. This is gonna be a riot. I can't even tell how much effort it's gonna take to clean the carpets, especially because there's so many things in here, which is totally fine. I'm gonna get it all taken out. We'll reassess. I'll take the seats out too. I know those rear seats in the Siennas are stow and go. I think that's a FCA thing, but regardless, we will store them when we clean the carpets. And these middle benches, or these two middle captain's chairs, they remove. I know that because I've done it on a Sienna before. So I'll get those out. We'll be able to see or assess how much effort this is gonna take. But on a totally positive note, before we get into all that, in the Nissan Quest video, if you have seen that, if not, I'll include a link in the description below. I said that I had never found a pine cone in a detail before, but check out this thing. I have now found the king of pine cones in a vehicle. This is bigger than my face. It's so awesome. I'm just so happy about it. Is it a pine cone? It's gotta be, right? I don't know. Not a scientist. So humiliatingly, and I'm kind of out of breath from it, I couldn't get this other captain's seat out from the middle, and I didn't know what was wrong. When I lifted up on the lever that normally just detaches both slides, it didn't lift out. So I tried the driver's side, it came out just fine. So I actually tipped the seat that had come out over to see what was up, and let's show you. So, if we're looking at the seat, just tip it back just a little bit. This lever right here activates these. Depresses on both sides and goes. Well, it wasn't activating the furthest side towards the exterior of the vehicle. What I ended up doing was reaching in here and depressing this manually, and it popped up just enough that I could lift it up. And what I had found was this bracket right here on the side that wasn't activating. this had actually fallen out, so this did not have any tension against it, so it couldn't activate these. Once I slid it back in there and then pulled the lever again, popped out. Check that out. Now it works, and I'm slightly less humiliated because that kicked my butt for a couple minutes. Not only did we find the king of pine cones, but I think we found a wedding dress too. It's like two things that I don't think I've ever found before. Super pumped that we've got everything out of the vehicle because we can see that I have my work cut out for me to get this back to amazing shape, but I am really excited to do. Two things to note, maybe three things to note. One, there were not as many car seats as the NV3500. That still takes the cake at 6 car seats, I believe. 4 car seats and 2 boosters. So 6 car seats total in the NV3500. But it definitely had way more personal items than the Mazda 3 that I detailed and posted a little while back. So it loses in one aspect, gains in another. And the third thing that I want to mention is I found a ton of shoes in here, so I'm not sure how their kids had shoes, and the only thing that concerned me there was that there was also many fish hooks, well, many being 3 fish hooks on the ground just hanging out. So maybe their kids just have really, really tough feet. Story time and new tool day at the same time. This Stanley 4 horsepower vacuum I have had for quite a long time. I have a very epic partner in crime, and what kind of came as a package deal with my beautiful wife is really awesome in-laws. My father and mother-in-law purchased this for me as either a Christmas or a birthday present many, many years ago. I'm sure not even they anticipated how many vehicles would be vacuumed using this thing. And I love this Stanley vacuum, but it has almost no suction left. It is just, it's tired. I've cleaned and changed the filter. A commenter did make a remark about adding an inline filter. That's a really great idea. Haven't done that yet. Gonna have to do it on the new one because we've got to move on and up to whoa, it's so big and it's really heavy. DeWalt wet dry vacuum with 5 horsepower and more capacity. I think this one is 8, this is 10. Hopefully it fits in my new age cupboard, not sure. We're gonna find out. And what a great vehicle to review this vacuum, not necessarily review, but to test this vacuum out because it's a wreck in there. Yeah. When the customer picked up their Sienna, I did ask about the fish hooks because I was slightly concerned. Turns out that they, as a family, go fishing quite frequently, and of course the kids being kids pick up the fish hooks and put them in the vehicle, but the parents, knowing about this, have removed the barbs or the hook part of the actual lure, and it is not a danger to the children, so they don't have hard feet, or maybe they do have hard feet, but they are definitely not at a risk of getting fish hooked. In this area around the captain's chairs, it turns out, due to very long road trips, that some children had fallen ill and there was not one, but 2 puke sessions. I thought I had smelled something, but I'm never going to claim that I had the best sniffer in the world, so I just continued cleaning because it didn't necessarily change how I was going to clean it. I always aim to get the best clean possible, but definitely answered a lot of questions. As is common with any vehicle, the plastics get dusty. I use my detailing brush and my vacuum to dust them off, and then I use the vacuum to catch any of the dust particles that fly into the air. I also hold my detailing brush close to the vacuum to clean it off after I dust off an area, so that I do not just spread more dust around. That new DeWalt vacuum is so sick. It made vacuuming quite a breeze. I didn't realize how much suction the old Stanley had lost until right now, pretty much. It is time to get rolling into the carpet cleaning. We'll start with these 2 bucket seats that we have already removed from the vehicle, and then we're going to go from the back to the front. I do want to show you really quick the goal, what we're trying to get back to when we're cleaning the carpets specifically. Hopefully this color shows up okay, but you can see this area right here that's a gray, and then it fades to not gray. Yes, no. We're gonna try and get back to this everywhere. As this detail has already proven, we have our work cut out for us, but it's going awesome. And I'm so excited just to see that first extractor hit on pretty much any of that carpet. I think it's probably gonna be a 10 on B's epic scale of carpet extractions. We'll see. Check it out, I found a rainbow. Let's see if it cleans out. So a couple of things. I knew when I was prepping the extractor that the Sienna detail would require the steam cleaner. It is not used in every carpet cleaning phase of every detail, but there are some that I require it. In the pre-inspection on the detail, I can always tell the Sienna needed it. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that you may not think this is a 10, but I knew this was a 10 the second I started. Well, actually before I started, simply because you can see how dirty carpets are, and every pass with the extractor, even the second, third, and sometimes even the fourth pass, pulled dirt out. In the viewing window right here on the extractor, you notice that you can see the soap and water being pulled up in, but notice that it's never really pure white. If it's pure white, that's soap, and that's down on a 1 for B's epic carpet extracting scale of dirtiness. But this one is always tinted brown, and if it's always tinted brown, you know it's gonna be on the upper end of the scale, or a 10 as in dirty, dirty. Here is what we are aiming for when cleaning these carpets. The 60 split on the left of the screen has been cleaned, and you can see it has come back to this nice gray. There is a stain there that isn't coming out, but look at the right. It is that really brownish gray. Cleaned, not cleaned. Goal, starting point. Here's the same thing I was talking about earlier. You can't see it quite as well on that seat back, but it's just never pure soap. Now, of course, this seat extraction is a 10. No questions asked, no doubt in my mind. Just check it. Sludge. Sludge. And wait for it. Sludge red. Sludge red. I don't know what it was, but it extracted out great. Here's a really great example of what we're aiming for on these seats. After, before. Not sure the color, not the color it's supposed to be. Boop. right here in front of the captain's chair where the vomit session happened. It was pretty epic extraction, but pretty nasty. Also, underneath the passenger seat, there is something spilled under there, and I zoom in right here so that you can see the extraction because it was super cool. It was a bright orange color. I don't know what it was, if it was a syrup of some kind or something, but it's actually really common to have spills under seats like that because it's really hard to clean up unless you are using the awesome tools like the Sandia carpet extractor that I use on every interior detail. This last emptying of the carpet extractor was awesome. Check it out. What? It was so dark. That's a 10. The results of the carpet cleaning were epic. It was definitely a 10 on B's ever epic scale of dirty carpets. It was dirty for sure. But now, very, very clean. We have to clean the plastics. We are going to do that, of course, by using some fun tools like the steam cleaner in super dirty places, APC cleaner to start out, of course, microfiber towel to wipe off, and in these tight areas, we have a detailing brush. Historically, I have prided myself on not getting too rattled by really dirty areas inside of any vehicle. But I have to confess, when I first pulled whatever was in that cup holder out in that clip, I was shaking just a little bit, meaning I was literally shaking because I was trying to not lose my dinner. The consistency of it was awful. The smell of it was worse. I don't know what it was, but it was so gross. It is now time to protect all of the interior plastic. To do this, we are going to spray, or apply, I should say, the CarPro Pearl product with an applicating pad. We're going to apply to the tight areas with a detailing brush and level and wipe off with a microfiber towel. The interior cleaning has gone really well so far. It has definitely been a challenge, but I think it's turning out amazing. We gotta clean the windows. We're going to use invisible glass, a classic Coca-Cola bottle made in Mexico, and a microfiber towel. I don't even know what to do. Oh wait, I have an idea. Bigger bags. it does it. It takes the cake. It beats the Mazda 3 for the most amount of personal items in a vehicle. So yay for the Sienna. So as I was getting the Sienna parked in the garage to make sure it can drive for the night, I almost forgot to put in two of the most epic things, and one of them is the most giant and awesome pine cone I have ever seen. The second thing, of course, being, I don't know if it's awesome, it's just odd because I've never had it before, seen it before. Wedding dress. Thank you, epic customer. This detail was a blast. I had so much fun doing it. I'm glad that you brought it to me. There's no B's Top 3 today. This video was already too long, but I didn't want you to miss out on any of this detail because it was seriously a riot. Go down and subscribe to this channel if you're not. Like this video. That stuff helps me out a ton, and I will catch you next time.